Hello, Winslow team. I hope you're finding moments of joy and renewal this summer. As we prepare for another incredible journey together, I'm excited to share out our theme, Building Tomorrow on Yesterday's Foundation. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's how we approach everything we do at Winslow. And it connects to a beautiful concept, the palimpsest. Think about your classroom. How's it changed over the last few years? What traces of the past linger? On a scale of 1 to 5, how aware are you of those old layers of your teaching from the past, mistakes, successes, traditions? What is a palimpsest? Hopefully, you've already seen the introduction video, but if not, let's go over it a little bit. A palimpsest is an ancient manuscript that's been written on, scraped clean, and written on again. But here's the magic: those earlier layers never fully disappear. They make the page richer, more meaningful. Winslow Elementary is our living palimpsest. For over 50 years, people at Winslow have been writing a story of excellence. And we don't erase what came before it. We honor it, we build upon it, and we add our own beautiful layers to that manuscript. Think about the layers that already exist. Principal Lee's Twist contest from the 70s, still bringing joy and community together. American Education Week traditions that connect generations of families. And from last year, our STEM days and cadres that sparked curiosity and point towards the future. None of these are old programs we're stuck with, they're the foundation. They make everything we do meaningful. I invite you to think, what layer will you add to our story this year? What will your students remember about their time? We talked about that this year would have a little bit different setup when it comes to our school improvement. We're going to start by focusing on relationship building and implementation, the things that we've already been doing, tightening them up. So let's talk a little bit about what that means in this context. Let's imagine Sarah, a second grader here in rural Indiana, curled up with her copy of Charlotte's Web. The first time she read it, it was all about Wilbur the pig, Fern, and the amazing spider who saved him. She loved the animal friends and the excitement of the barnyard adventures. A year later in third grade, her teacher reads Charlotte's Web aloud. This time, Sarah notices things she didn't before. When Charlotte writes terrific in her web, Sarah's teacher asks, "What does that really mean for Wilbur? Is he actually terrific? Or is Charlotte helping him in another way?" Sarah starts to realize Charlotte's not just a friend, but also a very clever and very strategic. She's learning about persuasion and how words can change things. By fifth grade, Sarah's class discusses the book again. Now the teacher asks about Charlotte's sacrifice, how she works so hard and then passes away. Sarah thinks about how friends help each other, even when it's hard, and how important it is to keep promises. She also starts to wonder about the cycle of life and how things change over time. She sees that the story isn't just about a pig and a spider, but about friendship, kindness, and growing up. Each time she reads it, a new layer of meaning unfolds, like peeling back the layers of an onion or a palimpsest. School's like a palimpsest. Imagine a chalkboard in your classroom, if anyone could still remember those, where someone writes a story and then someone else writes another story right over it. You can still see hints of the first story beneath it. Make sure that we don't just write new stories over old ones and forget them. Look for those underneath stories, the special things that children bring. That's what our first weeks are all about: relationship building, finding out what makes our kids tick, connecting with them. That's what our teachers are so great at. And I encourage you to take that time at the start of the year to build those relationships and to add those student stories to the layers of our foundation. Let's talk next about literacy and our excellence in pursuit of literacy for all our students. So proud of the work that our teachers have done with the literacy cadre and firming up our foundation. And I'm excited about our new materials that we have to work with that will hopefully continue to enrich our students' experience in literacy. Our literacy foundation, of course, is strong. I'm anticipating 91% or more iRead proficiency for this year. And we're going to deepen that success through layering literacy instruction throughout this year. Our fall focus after we're done with our relationship building will be on vocabulary. Tier 2, Tier 3 words across all subjects, thinking about morphology, roots, prefixes, suffixes. Our goal is rich academic language that empowers students in every discipline. We've already started the work on writing. We'll focus in and tighten up our approach to writing, checking in with everyone throughout the winter. Students are going to apply that vocabulary that we've worked on to science reports, math explanations, social studies analysis, collaborative writing with their peers. Anytime they have the opportunity to write, we know this helps them to synergize their learning from each other as they grow. In the spring, we'll bring a focus to comprehension. We've been working on this, of course, but we'll continue to scaffold students through increasingly complex tasks, modeling strategies through think alouds, guided practice, and critical thinking prompts. As we begin the year, you can ask yourself, how are you going to weave vocabulary, writing, and comprehension into your routines? As layers, not isolated lessons. A lot of people have been working throughout the summer on this very question, and I so appreciate the work that's been done. We'll have more time during our flex days and during our PLCs to continue this work. This is the part of the year, again, at the start of the year, that we're going to focus in on implementation. How do we turn the things that we've learned, the new products that we have in our possession, into actions? That's the key. Let's talk next about character education, the habits that hold us together. Let's listen to a few student voices as we start the year.
I was proactive by choosing to say sorry first instead of arguing.
I begin with the end in mind by planning my project before it even starts.
I put first things first by doing my homework before I play outside.
Thinking when my friend and I took turns, so we both had a chance.
Seek first to understand, then to be understood. That's why I listen to my friends before I talk. My partner and I worked together and finished stronger because we synergized.
I sharpen the saw by taking brain breaks so I can focus better.
We know our students don't just grow as learners, they grow as people. The 7 habits aren't just classroom rules, they're life skills that strengthen our 50-year legacy of nurturing the whole child, about character education. This isn't anything different than we've been doing, but it's a framework to approach this year, something that brings us together. And that's what we're always looking in character education. The state has laid out this groundwork, the things that students need when they get a job later in life. And those are the types of skills that we're reinforcing. We're trying to do it together so that across the school, it'll be reinforced and make these lessons even more powerful. We're going to start with being proactive in August and September, and we'll have our blitz where we go over classroom and school expectations. In October, we'll begin with the end in mind. November, we put first things first. In December, we think win-win. January, we seek first to understand. We're going to synergize in February. And in March, we're going to sharpen the saw. But here's what excites me the most. These habits don't exist in isolation. They strengthen our beloved traditions. Whether students prepare for the twist, they're being proactive and synergizing. During the day game for basketball, they begin with the end in mind. With our One School, One Book, they seek first to understand different perspectives, like the wild robot from last year, or maybe Charlotte's Web this year. We're not adding another program, we're adding a language and intention to what we already do in a beautiful way. Let me ask you, what habit resonates most with your teaching style? How will you model it authentically in your classroom this year? Before we talk about STEM, I want to pause for something important. I keep coming back to the thought, the world can't heal without more joy. Joy in the grown-up world feels different from the pure joy we see in our students' eyes. It has depth. It comes from knowing challenges and still choosing hope. It comes from finding strength to reach for the sparkles in ordinary days, even when the world feels heavy. This year, I'm committed to seeking joy in my heart while staying aware of the world around us. And I want to invite you to join me. Let's focus on highlighting creativity, playfulness, and those small glimmers in our everyday work. Together, we'll layer joy into our palimpsest through character, literacy, STEM, and the connections we nurture every single day. Tell me if you've seen this one before, STEM certification. I'm going to call this a new layer of innovation because we haven't gotten there yet. And that's partially, well, maybe a lot on me. We've had a lot of other things that we've pursued ahead of this, but I think that we're there. I think that we have the setup to enact this layer, to really write this onto our school story and to do it for our students. Our STEM journey is a vibrant layer, and each quarter we'll be building towards that certification. Quarter one, again, we're looking at those create to think lessons, and we'll have our STEM day. Quarter two, you're not going to have to be working on this, but I want you to be aware of the work that's going to be going on, and you will be contributing to this through the materials that you produce through the create to think lessons. We're going to develop our STEM website and begin organizing our materials. And we'll have our second STEM day. Quarter three, we'll have our third STEM day and showcase student work. We want to involve the students. I have the word portfolios in here. We'll decide later what that's going to look like. The point of this part is, how do the students highlight the things that they're doing on these STEM days? We're creating these experiences and interactions. What products are they surfacing that we can highlight? In quarter four, we'll have our last STEM day and continue to plan for year two and certification. It's a 2-year process. So if we apply for the certification this year, we implement year one, we implement year two next year, and qualify at the end of next year. It's a long process, but for me, this is the opportunity for our students to secure a future for themselves if they want to. And if not, the things that they learn, the problem-solving skills that they're going to learn through the STEM activities are going to translate to whatever they do. It doesn't matter if they're in a STEM career. What matters is that they understand the concepts, the way of thinking. Just like a lot of our other subjects, may not use certain parts of math or the grammar that you learn every day, but understanding them gives you a richer view of the world and gives our students access to whatever they want to do with their lives. The best part of STEM is that it's not an add-on. It integrates with our literacy and our character, vocabulary growth, problem solving, teamwork. So my question for you here is, what STEM experience this year are you most excited to share with your students? What's going to spark their curiosity? Let's talk a little bit about integration, weaving the golden threads. How does this all come together or work together? Here's where the magic happens. Our layers don't stand alone. They strengthen each other. Character plus literacy, seek first to understand, fuels deeper reading. Begin with the end in mind, shapes focused writing. Character plus STEM, being proactive, drives experiments. Synergize, powers engineering teams. Literacy plus STEM, STEM vocabulary builds comprehension. Engineering reports strengthen writing. We're weaving golden threads through everything we do. Not separate programs, but one beautiful legacy. As you prepare for school this year, I invite you to reflect on your next layer. Which habit will guide your year? How will you layer literacy into your practice? What STEM opportunities will excite your students? Consider sharing your commitment through a pledge wall in your classroom or any other creative idea. Together, we honor every layer that came before and boldly add new layers of excellence. Thank you for being the authors of Winslow's next chapter.
Medieval scribes would often take a vellum manuscript that was considered unimportant, or maybe it was a double, and they would scrape the ink off the page and rescribe a new book onto it. And when that happens, the term for that is a palimpsest, P-A-L-I-M-P-S-E-S-T, which is one of my favorite weird words. Palimpsest is a page in which its original writing has been erased and now new writing is on it. But I think the word is useful across creation.
There's this concept that I love called a palimpsest. It's an ancient manuscript where writing is scraped clean. The things that were there before never really go away. You have these layers of time and layers of things that have been written. They show up through the newer pieces of writing. Over time, you rewrite, but always the past is there. You can see the way that all the things that came before it are still present. It's about the layers of the past influencing our future.